Yeah, Beisai Shavous is coming up very soon. Everyone's making their plans, cheesecakes and the different yanim. So it's important to learn, to know the din and the halachas and the minhagim. We're ready within the Shloshim Yom Kaidem HaChag. So we'll take a look at Simin Tov Tzadik Dalet. Tov Tzadik Dalet.
It's tough for men to go.
What page?
Tov Memvav. Yeah. Here, the page is right here. Say the Tfilas Chag HaShavuos, the order of davening on the Yom Tov HaShavuos. The Boi Chof Sifim, there are 20 Sifim, the Halachas HaShavuos. Sif Aleph, Yom Chamishim Sfiras HaOmer Chag HaShavuos, the 50th day of Sfiras HaOmer is Yom Tov HaShavuos, HaNikra Atzeres, which is called Atzeres B'Lashon Chacham. Chazal refer to it as Atzeres. In Torah it's called Chag HaShavuos. Shenemar Tisperu Chamishim Yoim. You craft them. You should count 50 days. You craft them. You should make a carbon. A cross them. Make a kodesh. It's a day of mikra kodesh. Fi cheshben kviyas hachadash masi b'dein. The Yom Tov HaShavuos is different than all other Yom Tovim. All the Yom Tovim have, the Torah delineates a specific date on the calendar for when this Yom Tov is to take place. For example, Yom Kippur is supposed to be always on Yud Tishrei. Sukkot on Tesvav Tishrei. We know every day Pesach is on Tesvav. Shavuos has no day on the month in the Torah. It is 50 days from Pesach. 50 days of Sfiras HaOmer. Now that was not necessarily always come out on the same day. In our Luach, the way it's set up now, it doesn't change. So it always comes out on Vav Nisan, Vav Sivan. First day Shavuos, Vav Sivan. However, in the times when they were Mekadosh Al Pi Hariyah, it was not based on the calendar. They'd wait for the Eidim to come, so there was a possibility that Shavuos could have fallen out on Hey, Sivan, Vav, or on Zayin. There's 3-day chance whether it could pull out. So it wasn't connected to the month. Based on the third line, based on the calculation of the months that we have today, that our month of Nisan is always complete, 30-day month. And the month of Iyar is always missing. Chodesh Chasa means it's 29 days, because the month can be 29 and 30 days. The reason why it varies is because the cycle of the Levana, of the moon, is not exactly 30 days, and it's not exactly 29 days. It's 29 and a half days. It's 29 days, 12 months, and Tash Tzag, which is 793 parts. So it's basically 29 and a half days. So therefore, but we can't make Rosh Chodesh a half a day. We learn out from Pesukim that there's no such thing as a half Rosh Chodesh in the middle of the day. Okay, it's 12 o'clock in a little bit, we're going to make Rosh Chodesh now. No. Chodesh goes by days. But if we're going to continue doing months, let's say of 29 to 30, we're going to be very off the pattern of the Levana, because the Levana is not the full 29, it's a little more than 29, and it's not yet 30. It's in the middle. So therefore, some months are complete months of 30 days, and some months are 29 days. So the way our cheshbon, our luach is that Nisan is always 30 days. Malay, and Iyar is Chaser. So Yeh Chag Zeh B'Shisha B'Sivan, always the Yom Tov will fall out on the 6th day of Sivan. Sharei Yemei HaSvira Maschilim Mitez Zayin B'Nisan, because the days of Svira start from the 2nd day of Pesach, which is Tez Zayin Nisan. Im Kein Tesvav Yoim Shemitez Zayin Ad Seif HaChodesh. You have 15 days from the 16th to the ending of the month of Nisan. So that's 15 days. Then you have Chav Tes Yoim Sh'Iyar, 29 days of Iyar, because Iyar is a Chodesh Chaser. It's only 29 days. V'Shisha Yomim B'Sivan, and 6 days in Sivan, in
50
50 Yom, it equals up to 50 days. Then you have Chav Tes Yoim Sh'Iyar, 29 days of Iyar, because Iyar is a Chodesh Chaser. It's only 29 days. V'Shisha Yomim B'Sivan, and 6 days in Sivan, in 50 days. Therefore, we say on Shavuos, Zman Matan Torah Seinu. This is the time of our giving of the Torah. Shisha b'Sivan Nitna Torah Lisa, because the 6th day of Sivan Torah was given. Meaning like this: in the Torah itself, when we read the Torah, it does not say anywhere what day the giving of the Torah happened. It doesn't give any date to it. Not only that, the Torah does not connect the Yom Tov of Shavuos and Matan Torah. It doesn't say clearly, explicitly in the Torah that the Yom Tov of Shavuos has anything to do with Matan Torah. Furthermore, these days they actually coincide, because the Gemara tells us, the Gemara makes the calculation that the day of the giving of Matan Torah was on the 6th day of Sivan. It doesn't fluctuate. It's the day on the calendar, the 6th day of Sivan. However, Shavuos fluctuates because Shavuos is dependent on the 50 days from Pesach, which depend whether the month of Iyar or Sivan or Nisan are Malay or Chaser. Like we said before, the Gemara explains that Shavuos could sometimes be on Hey Sivan or sometimes on Zayin. Comes out that Lav Dafke will fall out on the day of Matan Torah. Matan Torah is on Vav. You could have years, you could have had years 2,000 years ago that the Shavuos did not fall out on Matan Torah. It was a different date. So the reason why we say currently now in our davening, when we daven, we say Zman Matan Torah Seinu Shavuos at the time of Matan Torah, is because for the past 2,000 years we're using this luach, which based on this luach, Shavuos and Matan Torah always coincide on Vav. Avol, the second paragraph in Sevav, in Sev Aleph, Zman Shemikatchen Achadoshim, Halpiriyah, in the days when they used to sanctify the months, the lunar months, by base of sight, of seeing, when 2 witnesses would come and say they sighted the new moon. So then there wasn't an orderly fashion of which month will be missing and which one will be 30, depending on whether the witnesses sighted the moon or not. It could have been not only Iyar would be 29 days, but Nisan would also be 29 days. And then Shavuos, you're going to be missing a day because you don't have the 30th day of Sivan to count. You need to count another day of Sivan. Comes out Zayin Sivan will be Shavuos. And the opposite of him, if not only Nisan will be a complete month, if Iyar would also be Malay 30-day month, so you had an extra day in Iyar, so you're counting the Svidas Oimer and you count Lamed Iyar, so now you're going to be a day earlier in Sivan. Already by Hey Iyar, Hey Sivan, is already Shavuos. It doesn't fall out on the day of Matan Torah. In both these scenarios, where they're both Chaser, both Malay, it's going to either fall out on Hey Sivan or on Zayin, which is not the day the Torah was given on Vav Sivan. Ein bekach klum. There's no issue with that. The Torah never explicitly connected the holiday of Shavuos with the day of the giving of Matan Torah.
But, of course, as we know, as we understand, Moshe Rabbeinu just destroyed the first luchos, which were given on Shavuos. So the Torah that we adhere to is Yom Kippur. And I think that explains why the schizophrenic attitude towards it is because the truth is the Torah that we follow, that we adhere to, was Yom Kippur.
Interesting explanation. I never heard that. Very interesting. Okay, nice shot. So Lamaisa comes out that the Shavuos doesn't have to be on the same day as Matan Torah. The Torah never said that Shavuos has to be on a certain day of the month. The only thing the Torah tells us is the 50th day. But based on the calendar, the way we have set up now, it will always fall out, coincide on the same day, and that's why we say Zman Matan Torah Seinu. Now, before we go further, I just want to tell you that the Rebbe brought up that this is not only a concept in ancient times, but today's days when it became very easy to travel. People are constantly traveling the world. So we have a new phenomenon where people travel and they cross over the date line. When you cross over the date line, which is called international date line, the date changes. So you can have a situation where someone, let's say, he flies from Australia to here. So you fly from Australia to here, you lose a day. I'm sorry, you gain a day. You gain a day. Meaning, let's say you flew out Monday, even though you had all this travel time and everything, when you come here, it's still Monday.
You come a couple hours before your land.
So when you're on the flight, you're middle of counting Sfida. So you count the 5th day of Sfida Monday night, Sunday night, let's say, in Australia, which is Monday, right? Sunday night. You get on a flight, and during the flight, it becomes dark.
1 day ahead.
Then it's daylight, then it's dark again, and then when it's night, you count in the next Sfida because you are on the flight and you have to count Sfida. So you count already 6 Sfida. You come to New York, and you arrive, they tell you it's Monday. If it's Monday, you already were counting the Sfira of Monday night, which is the next day, Tuesday. Because then you went back a day. Because when you go over the date line, the day changes. When you're in the middle of the flight, they tell you on the way to Australia that we're going to cross the date line. And suddenly it changes. Like, you're middle of the day and they say, okay, until now it was Tuesday, now you're going back to Monday. Or the opposite, you're coming from New York to Australia.
Experience it?
It goes the opposite.
Experience
Yeah, I did experience it, yeah. I experienced the ones during Sfira Saimer time. But now, the shaila is what to do with your Sfira Saimer. Many different poskim about it, discussing it. The Rebbe first broached this topic in 1949. I don't know if anyone wrote this topic earlier. And 1949 brought up this topic, what would it be with the Sfira Saimer and what would be with the Yom Tov Shavous. So the Rebbe held clearly 2 things. The Rebbe held that your Sfira Saimer is a personal count. Your personal count, you should follow not what the Tzibur is doing, you should follow your count. So if you're already ahead of New York, because you already count an extra day, you continue counting. Everyone is counting now 6th, but since tonight, Monday night, you already count 6, you should be counting 7. And you're going to count a different day. Now, and furthermore, the Rebbe held something which seemingly is a bigger chiddush, that even your Yom Tov Shavuos should be on an earlier date, because since you're already holding 7, and they're counting 6, means that you're going to reach the 50th before they do, a day before. So it means that Erev Shavuos is going to be your Yom Tov. So the Rebbe held very strongly this was the case, and he held, even though it seemed like a very novel chiddush, he said that that's the pshat, that's the pasha pshat. So just people never did this before, and the Rebbe actually did not advise people to cross the date line. He told people not to do this, not because he was doubtful in his shita, but he held that it's something strange to do. You're going to be keeping a different day of Shavuos than everyone else. It's not something you should be doing. He did not want people crossing the date line. There are certain dire situations that, Chassidim would go and ask the Rav for a heter, and they would say, it's hard. Those that do cross, when I went, it wasn't only an issue for me for Sfiras Omer, not for Shavuos, because I wasn't going one way, I went round trip during Sfiras Omer. So, even though I went from New York to Australia, I was a day behind everyone. They were counting 7, I was still counting 6.
But then when you came back, you catch it.
When I came back, I caught up. So I came back before Shavuos. I actually went mamish at this time period. Pashas b'chul Kaisai. I was in the Shabbos b'chul Kaisai. I was in Australia.
Was it a 2-day trip you went? Only a 2-day trip?
Huh?
You only a 2-day trip?
I went there for a week and a half. But I was only I didn't head to issue Shavuos because at the time I came back, if it's only when you go one way, then you still remain with a discrepancy in the amount of days. But if you come back, you gained back or lost whatever you gained.
But we don't say if you go to Roma, you act like Rome.
So different poskim, most poskim do not follow the Rebbe Shita. There is some places which actually say that by Sviras Oimer they do follow the Rebbe Shita. But Shavous they say that's too much. Say Sviras Oimer is your personal account. You should keep your own Svira. Come to Shavous they say that's totally in the Tzibur, not in the Yachid.
It's the biggest
Now the Lubavitcher Chassid for some reason has to go over and he has no other choice but follow the Rebbe's psak on this Shaiva.
So you go to Europe, not to cross the...
Right. The best thing what to do is not to actually cross the date line. What you could do is you go around the world without crossing that. Meaning, if we go, the quickest way to go to Australia is to fly from New York to California and go over the Pacific Ocean. However, if you go this way, you go from New York to Europe, and you go over Europe to Australia, that's the longer route, much longer route. But you don't cross the date line because you're coming from the same side of the date line and continue and meeting Australia. If you go the short way, you're going to cross over the date line.
How long?
So when I happened to be, that was when I was coming back and forth. But when I one time went there for a Pesach. One time to Australia, I was there twice. I went for a Pesach. That's what I did. On the way there, I went direct over the date line. I kept I'm sorry. Yeah, when I went there, it wasn't an issue because it was before Pesach.
Right, you can't...
But afterwards, when I came back, in order not to have an issue with Shavuos, how I'm going to keep Shavuos in New York a different day than everyone else, I didn't want to follow. I wanted to follow what the Rebbe said not to go over. So I went through Europe. It was a very long trip.
How do you know where the plane goes?
You book flights. You will hatchila book a flight that direction. You say you want to fly with stopovers in Europe and
India and then...
Right. I went to Singapore, then we went to Frankfurt, Germany, and then to New York. I think.
How many hours flight? 20 something?
Oh yeah, maybe close to 30. It was very long.
Straight?
No.
No, it was at least two stopovers. One in Singapore.
The longest flight is LA.
Singapore was there for like a day.
LA and what?
And
Melbourne.
And where?
Sydney. Actually go from LA to Sydney straight.
Oh.
Yeah, you can go from LA to
Sydney or to Melbourne.
Straight, yeah.
That's
But
the longest flight.
Were you going over the pole?
16 hours on a plane. I did it twice. Believe me, you don't want to see a penalty.
Yeah, it's not easy flying over flights.
So they have Shulachim there?
Twice.
On the way back, when I went, one time it was a family, one time myself, I was with a Meshulach sitting next to me.
They go there.
How much money?
Sure, the Meshulach will go there. It's a very wealthy community, Australian community. Australian community is generally a wealthy community.
From what?
Australia?
From what?
Yeah, Jewish.
From what?
I'm not sure, they're affluent. I don't know what it's
I
from.
have a different part now. I'm going to
Affluent, it's just it might even be the country might be affluent. I'm not sure. Just people are living in a higher lifestyle over there.
They have Sfaradim there. I know Iraqi, spent from Iraq.
You know who's there? You know who's in a lot in Australia? A lot of South Africans.
Who?
A lot of South African Jews moved there.
Mm-hmm.
Especially after there was the big scare that when the black people were going to take over the country, they were going to take revenge on the white people, and there was the whole situation that was then what was it, 1990, I don't remember what year. So a lot of them left. So they have this, it's full of South African people there. And generally the whole country loves Eretz Yisrael. The Goyim also very...
They have black people there?
Aborigines.
Huh?
very few.
Very few.
Very few. Not much. They come from England.
Okay.
I have a different plan. I'm going to Israel now. One parsha. I had it already before last time when I went to my Friday. So now we're doing next week as soon as I there. So I'm going to have again the same problem. So what to do? I have to find a minion that somebody should read for me the parsha from here till Shani. And the oil have to wait.
Tegen de Tzibura.
But I have to do it. I have no choice. Otherwise, it's no parsha.
We'll have one tomatoes.
Who told you that?
The road man, that's what we did. There's few. It's not only me. There's a few people like that. So
You make your own minion. You make your own minion.
no, it was regular minion. As the people give us extra 10 minutes, we have to read.
Okay, let's skip the ending to Siv Beis. Let's go to Siv Beis.
Rav Shisha Pesach.
Even though in the time of Shulchan Aruch the minig was that on Erev Yom Tov and Erev Shabbos we would daven Ma'ariv early, taking Shabbos and Yom Tov early. He come up came below Shavuos, still in the night of Shavuos Ma'achim L'Spalal like Tzeisik Yechavim. When we daven at Tzeisik Yechavim. Shemagdimu v'yikabel T'shiyot v'til Yoyim. Harezek me'shechasru ma'at m'memtes yimei svira shefnei Chag Hazeh. If you take in the Yom Tov early when you daven, it's as if you're missing a part of 49 days of Svira. Atayram says Shavous Tfinis the end you have 7 complete weeks. If you take in Yom Tov early, the last week was not complete because the very ending of it is missing an hour or two. For this reason, one should not make Kiddush also by daytime, even if you're making it before Ma'ariv. Kiddush before Ma'ariv. One should not make Kiddush on early on such by Erev Shavous. By the way, in reality, this should also apply to women lighting candles. There is two minhagim when women light candles. Some women light when the men come home from shul, so then there will be no issue because they light just like when it's nightfall already. It's night. However, those kiyulas that the women light earlier, they light like they on every yom tov in Shabbos 18 minutes before. You would even have the same question because the women are makabel Shabbos early. But the fact is that those people do it, and this is a chumrah. This
if the husband has to makabel, if the woman makabel.
But what about the woman herself? No. But what about the woman?
She's missing 49 days.
What if she's taking an early?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we'll go to kasha, but that's the minik. Siv Gimel. Many have the custom to remain awake the entire night to learn Torah. The main asik should be learning Torah Shalpeh, not Torah Shabbat. Should be careful in the morning not to make al natil sedayim with a bracha because they never went to sleep. Not to make a bracha on the tzitzis that you wore a whole night. Should make a bracha on Berchas HaTorah explained in another simon. The minig is by Chassidim to read. It's called Tikkun and also Sfardim, I think. Tikkun Lel Shavuot, which is based on the Shalah, Hakadosh, and other Mukubalim is set up to learn, which has parts of the entire Torah, both the Torah Shabbat and Torah Shabbat.
By Sfaradim, they read from each parsha the beginning and the end. For each Navi, every parak, the beginning and the end. The beginning and the end.
Same thing. Yeah, same thing by Chassidim.
It's all Tayag mitzvahs and Zohar and Mishais.
Siv Dalet. By the way, a minig of Chassidim is to go to the mikveh in the morning.
What?
Before Nets.
Yeah, before Nate's, before Aleis HaShachar, before dawn, to go to the mikveh.
Remember to daven Shachris. Go sleep and then come back to daven Shachris.
B'yoyim Siv Dalet. B'yoyim Ala Shel Shvu.
You go to sleep, you can say breakfast on Shachar. Towards the end. 2 hours, 3 hours, and sleep.
No, the problem is that you're going to sleep when it's already dawn. So I'll tell you, the brachas that you don't say are these brachas, but the brachas of Anesis Achlavina and those brachas you do say. The Shailah Benegea, the brachas of Al Tivas Yadayim and Al Kain Neshama, those brachas. Talis Kotten.
Sfaradim has
someone that sleeps with towels cut, and some people sleep with towels cut and they make a bracha the next day. Can I? But there are people that sleep with it like every day.
You have to have a second one. You have to have a second Talis Kotten. shouldn't make a
Over here Friday
bracha.
night, another time.
Shouldn't make a bracha on that one that they slept that night with. Well, the truth is like this: if they always sleep in it with it by day and by night, you can make a bracha. Because
I know someone that's ill. He sleeps with Talis cotton because he is for shmira.
but does he sleep? But does he wear the same one every day by day?
Yeah.
Most
And he can
people
make a
doesn't
bracha.
sleep.
You can.
You could.
Yeah.
If you're only using it for night, some people have night tzitzis. They don't want the tzitzis to get ruined, so those that wear the tzitzis at night. Only this tzitzis they wear for night. Since it's miyuchet for night, is a shita machloikis rishonim. Actually, there's no machloikis over here. If it's only a night, tzitzis is only worn at night. You can't make a bracha because you're not chayiv in tzitzis. But if it's miyuchet also for the day, if it's also a day eksus yoim, you wear it by day and by night, then you make a bracha.
You could make bracha.
Yes.
I know someone that's mitzvah shmira. He does
Yeah.
it now well.
Yeah, lamais. Yeah,
He's chassidish. I mean,
yeah.
It's a minor.
a Rebbe told him to sleep with tzitzis.
Yeah. There's a few reasons why why people can wear tzitzis at night. One reason, a Kabbalah. A Kabbalah is the in to wear tzitzis at night. Another thing is to wake up in the.
Separate period, the same way to wear in the day.
Doesn't make a difference.
Doesn't make a difference.
And then there's another thing that you should wake up right away with the tzitzis on you. You shouldn't have to have time without the tzitzis. And then there's another thing, alpin nigla, if you wear it by day also, so then you're actually wearing, according to one of the shittas, you're chayiv and tzitzis. So you're actually doing a mitzvah. If it's the shita, the machloikis between the Rambam and the Rosh as to when it says re'isa maisai. You have to. You can only make a bracha on tzitzis at the time that you can, not night. There's machloikis. What does this mean? There's no clear psak in this issue. One shita holds that at day you can make a bracha, at night you can never make a bracha because you can't see at night. However, the other shita holds that no, it's not about night or day, it's about what's normally worn by day and what's normally worn by night. Kisus laila, kisus yoyim. If you put on a clothing at night, which you usually wear during the day, it's called a kisus yoyim. You put on your suit at night, you're chayiv and tzitzis at night, because it's a kisus yoyim. Even though you're wearing it at night, you're chayiv. So if the tzitzis is something you would wear by day and by night, then actually when we're wearing it at night, according to that shita, you're chayiv and tzitzis.
So you have pajamas with four corners, you would have to sleep with tzitzis.
Or only if it's a chsus yoyim. It's only miyuchet for night, for laila.
Oh, so if the pajamas only used every night, then you would not have to have
Right. The shiloh's become with blankets that have four corners on it, and yeah. Okay, Siv Dalit. Yoyim Aleph Shal Shavuos Acher Gemar HaHalal. The first day of Shavuos, after one reads Halal, Eitzim Beis Sefer Torah, one takes out two Sefer Torahs, the Koydin Sefer Torah Aleph Chamisha Gavri. We call up 5 men to the first Sefer Torah, which we read Parashas Yisrei, the Chodesh HaShlishi Lati the Sefer HaSedra. Shulyan HaShoim, because that's what happened on that day. Shabbos Torah, that's the day the Torah was given. The Mafter reads Korban Sefer Torah based on the second Sefer Torah, Parashas Pinchas. V'yem reads about the Bikurim which are brought this time. The Mafter B'Navi, one reads Haftorah is about the Navi, Makava the Yecheskel, about Yecheskel's vision, where he saw the chariot and he saw in the Malachim Hashem Shenigla Kadosh Baruch Hu b'Sinai b'Riv Vavis Alfei Shnon, because Hashem appeared at Sinai with hundreds of thousands of Malachim. So we also we read a similar thing in the Haftorah about what Yecheskel's vision. Menoigim L'Sayim L'Pasuk T'Se'eni Ruach Av She'eni Kosov Eit Klal Eitzim V'Kava. We finish off the Haftarah with reading the pasuk that is Eini Rach V'Eshma Achrei Kelash Gadol. Even though this pasuk is written later on and it's not written in connection with the Merkava, the chariot of Yecheskel. Sif Hey. In some places, the minig is that we give this Haftarah to Dafka, a great person or Chacham, to read it. The Smachel Davar, and a hint to this is what we say in the Mishnah in Chagiga. The Mishnah Chagiga tells us what parts of Torah are you allowed to teach to who. It says the story, the secrets behind the vision of Yecheskel, the Ma'aseh Merkava. You're not allowed to teach it to someone unless he's a Chacham, someone's wise, or maybe Medaiti who understands on his own. You give him something and he can be able to pick up, has perception to understand what the issues are lie over here. So it's talking about teaching a Ma'aseh Merkava. Similarly, the Haftarah, a Ma'aseh Merkava, you only give to someone who is a Chacham, maybe Medaiti, someone who's a special person. Siva. Agav, in many Kehilas, the minig is to give the Rav, actually, the Aseres HaDibris. So, to give the Aseres HaDibris Aliyah to the Rav. Yesh Noigin La'imra Mu'umid. Some have the minig to say this Haftarah standing. Meaning, not only the person who says the Haftarah, Loi hamafti bovad shehu tzarich la'amei l'chatchil v'chol haftarahs. They cover that tzibur. The one who's the maftir who reads Haftarah every week needs to stand anyways because covered of the tzibur. Not because the reading the Haftarah itself requires standing, but it's only covered. You're doing something for the tzibur, you should be standing for their covered. Some have the meaning that even this aliyah, even those that are reading along quietly with the mafter, read it standing in honor of this haftarah. Siv Zayin. Hanoigin l'sheira agdamis. There are those that have a meaning to read the agdamis, which are the special piyutim. Acher shekaru b'Torah pasuk yishin. They start reading the first aliyah in the Torah. They say the first pasuk, and afterwards they start to sing the agdamis. You're making a hefsek in middle laning. But there's no connection to the Kriyas HaTorah. One cannot protest in what they're doing. Because there are those that explain their minig and give reasoning to their minig. However, if you come to a place where there is no minig to sing akdamis after Kriyas HaTorah has already started, it's better to sing the akdamis piyut before the kohen says the bracha on Birchas HaTorah. V'chein yatsa pizgam, as well the piyut of yatsa and pizgam.
That's a thing when they do by Haftarah.
You do it before the haftarah?
Those who say it, yeah.
When do they say it?
By Haftarah, second day. Those who do say it.
B'yom sheni yoyzatay v'leimer koidim shi'as la maftir. Better to say before you say the maftir on the second day of Shavous. So what's the minig now? Who knows about what's the minig when they say Agdamas? Do they do it in the middle of Kriya or before?
No, they do it all.
In Chabad it's not done.
No, they do it before Kriya. The other those, no, it's fine.
No, they read one pasuk, then do Agdamas, then continue.
Matam shows up.
They do it before. Like the Alter Rebbe said not to do that. I don't know.
They take out the Torah, they put it down, and they do it.
Agdamas. For some reason it says that it's not a minig Chabad, but it says that the actual Rebbes of Chabad themselves would say it quietly to themselves. It's in the Siddur. It's in the Siddur, in the Chabad Siddurim. You have the Agdamas.
When I was davening in Lubavitch Yeshiva many years ago, there was to be a Rabbi Oretz, Rabbi Shalom. So he used to teach us the Agdamas so nice on Shavuos night. Like Mom, she explained every word over there. It's really, I wish I would record it and write it. It's so nice. The Alter Rebbe wrote it, but people don't realize how deep it is inside. The name from Hashem and all this and why it is. It's just very
old Agdamas.
Yeah.
Sif Ches. Aseres hadibres yishbeis meaning neginis. There are two ways to sing the Aseres hadibres. Ha'echad oisem mikol diber pasuk echad. Afshu arech hekatza moed. One way of singing the trap, doing the trap, the nigun, when you lane Aseres hadibres, is to make every single one of the Aseres hadibres into an independent pasuk. Afshu arech hekatza moed, whether it's long or very short. For example, in Shanoichi v'leyilacha v'leisasach l'shtachava v'yisachesed are all pasuk echad. They all read it as one pasuk because all one. Now, why should you read them all as one? Anoichi v'leyichal are two separate mitzvahs. Anoichi is a positive mitzvah believing in Hashem. V'yicha you shouldn't have a Avodah Zarah. However, leyilacha shanoichi v'leyilacha b'divrei echad nemar. The first two were said in one breath, one word. Lefira teves pnei hanun nekuda patach ponai. V'lei kamatz na ponoi she'ein shem esnachta v'leisei pasuk. Because you don't have. It's not in the middle of a pasuk and it's not at the ending of a pasuk. Chen zachar v'sheish yamim yemeshiv v'chisheishes pasuk echad. All the psukim about Shabbos, these 4 psukim, you read them all as one because it's all one dibur. Leficha chachav shel tevas tevas kol asmucha letevas vasisa hidefuya. It's a chaf, not a kav, ale gusha. Beis tevas yitzach in pasuk echad shalim. The 2 words lo yitzach are one pasuk because it's a separate dibur. V'yirat tzadikin nekuda kamatz lo yitzach. K'mishiyesham soy pasuk is the ending of a word. Ataf the gusha, you read loy tirtzach, not loy sirtzach. Shatevis loy he mut emes betam mafsik and tipcha b'chein loy sinaf he pasuk echad shalom ataf the gusha v'alaf kudo kamatz chen sign ataf the gusha. There's a lot of klolim and diktuk, but this basically is that each one is read as an independent pasuk for itself. That's one way. Masheni sifteh, the second way of reading the Aseres hadibros is Oisem Anoichi pasuk echad, L'yilacha pasuk sheni. Anoichi is one pasuk, L'yilacha is another pasuk. Based on this, we're going to read it differently. If it's Anun shel panai hu b'kamatz sheyesham say pasuk, not panai, say panoi. Chen zacharu pasuk echad sheyesham pasuk sheni. If it's Achav shel tevas kerl hidgusha, Lo yisirtzach lo yisinav yisignav yisasa kerl pasuk. We make it all as one pasuk. These are called taf mehem refuya. All the tafs are safs. But tzadik he shall sirtzach. He bepatach. It's sirtzach, not sirtzach. Ba'alav shall sinov. Ubekava sheisham esnachta. Now, what's the reason for these 2 different ways of reading Aseres hadibros? Sif Yud. Tam beis negin is who? Sherishin u'musodol fi ha'kosav shenichtu kol dibur dibur farash v'ne'atzma. The first way of reading it is you read based on the parsha. In the Torah we know there's something called stumas and psuches. Parsha stuma, parsha psucha are different ways that we write the Torah. And it's like sort of like different paragraphs, different sections. So the first way is to do it lefi sections. Noichi ad loisisa hi parsha achas stuma. It's one parsha achas stuma, one section that's written in the Torah. V'dibra echad. Kach nasa in a pasuk, we make one pasuk. And zachar ad lo tirtzach. From Zachar until Lo Tirtzach, all psukim about Shabbos is also one parsha in the Torah. Lo Tirtzach leisach v'nich v'dala parsha stumis v'dala dibur l'kachas v'dala psukim. Lo Tirtzach, Lo Tinaf, Lo Tinaf. It's all separate parshas. It has a psik. A stuma samach in between. It shows you the symbol of the samach. It's a separate parasha. It's a separate dibur. Therefore, it's separated to 4 psukim. That's the first way of reading. V'asheni hu mesudel lefi akri. The second way, we do by the way the first way. We read the Torah. Each dibur is read as its own pasuk. Lo yitirtzach, lo yitinaf.
It's a different prayer in Yaakov.
Yeah. Yeah. Hasheni, the second one, whom soda lefi hakri, is based on how you read it. Shle'in hakriya, emi l'sitzach l'sach on the pasuk halbad. If you look at mitzad the Kriya perspective, not mitzad the Parsha perspective, mitzad the Kriya perspective, it's one pasuk. And therefore, on the top of page Taf Mem Tes, you're not allowed to stop in the middle of reading one pasuk. You have to finish it. Even when you're reading by yourself privately, the Gemara says that Kol pasuk the pasuk Moshe and not le paskin. Any pasuk that Moshe did not make a stop in the middle. When you read the pasuk, you have to read the entire pasuk. You can't stop in the middle of the pasuk because Moshe didn't make a stop in the middle of the pasuk. That's about Ish Chodesh, by the way. We don't have enough aliyahs, so what do? After the first aliyah, read 3 psukim. The second aliyah that only has 2 psukim, so it goes back and reads over the same pasuk. The Gemara actually says another option that you should read half of the pasuk. The first one should be 2.5 psukim, and the second read 2.5 psukim. The Gemara says that's a problem because kol psukkah, the pasuk of Moshe, and not only paskin, any pasuk that Moshe didn't make stop in the middle, you're now allowed to make a stop in the middle. So therefore, we read the first aliyah reads 3 full psukim. The second aliyah reads 3 full psukim. How? The second aliyah, the Levi, goes back and reads a pasuk that the previous one read. The Kohen read. Shakol hafsokes hapsukim heimalacha l'Moshe misinei v'asa lahafs l'machshalei pasuk l'Moshe misinei. All the visions, the dividing of psukim, comes from halacha l'Moshe misinei. And if Moshe did not make any separation when he gave it to us from Har Sinai, we cannot separate it when we're doing the Kriyas HaTorah also. Since we're not allowed to make a hefsek in the middle of the Kriya, when he's reading these 4 parashas, and Kengam Kishakoid in Bepam Echod. Therefore, when we read it, Bepam Echod in the Kroyim, we read it in one together, one shot. Benegina mechaberes ois and lasis mikol pasuk echad. Kamei shehem beemes pasuk echad. There you read it with a trop that not only you continue reading to the next pasuk. You have, like, not only you don't stop, make a break. You don't make a break. You read it with a trop and a nigun that is connecting all the words in the pasuk, not separating them, because the trop could be done in a way where it separates it. You could say loy tirtzach loy tinaf. You could read it without any hefsek and say loy tirtzach. Well, if you didn't make any hefsek, I waited, I stopped. But the way you're singing it, you're singing in a separated manner. You're separating them. So therefore, the negina should also be a negina which makes them one continuation, because they are taka one pasuk from the shein lanu b'chol Torah pasuk pachas megimel tevis. There's no pasuk in the entire Torah which is less than 3 words. So you can't have leit tirtzach leit tinaf. These are 2 psukim of 2 words. Many, many psukim. You have to separate from the shein hayachid. A person's reading privately is allowed to separate these psukim up. He doesn't have to read them one shot, because that's the way they are in the Torah. Therefore, af betzibra in isel hasik sham v'shemachnosim v'yoytzim. Kachin ikroim in the ginam of sekus and lasses men kam psukim v'she'emes kam psukim imen psukim. So one way is pashat, read it the way it actually says it in the Chumash. You look at the Chumash, whatever's a pasuk is a pasuk, and whatever's not a pasuk is not a pasuk. Very simple. Just the way you look in the Torah. The first way is to read it, there's a special way how you read the Keseres HaDibros, how you read each dibur as a pasuk for itself. Now, Mikol Mokim, Batzeres, on Shavous, Noigim, Likris, B'tzibur, Barishin, Las Kodir Pasuk Echad. The minig is, even though it makes sense to do like the second shita, Lamaisa is, the minig is like the first way how to read the Torah on Shavous, to make every dibur its own pasuk. Lefi shaboy b'yoyim nitna saradibros. Since this is the day of the Aseret HaDibros, therefore we want to show how each one is separate. Kach koyin oisik m'shenitnu kol dibur v'asuk echad. Every dibur was given in Har Sinai's own pasuk. Therefore, that's the way you should read it. V'yesh noigim likas v'tzibur b'harishim v'oilam af b'Shavos Parshas Yisrei b'Shavos Parshas Chanan like a yochid koil la'atzmei koida hasheni. Some have the meaning not only Shavous to do this, but even when you read Yisrei, Parshas Yisrei, and you read Pashas Haschanim, that you also read it with the Tama Elyon, which is the first way. Only when a person privately reads to himself, he reads the second way. Now, L'maisa in our Chumashim, if you'll take out a Chumash, in the back of the Chumash, let's say the back of Pashas Yisroi, it tells you how to read it for the Baal Koyer to read it. It's a little bit different. It's not only that each one's separate, but like we said earlier, it makes changes. And if you read it with a Saf, or a Taf, or a Kamatz, or a Patach, certain words, Panai, Panoi, Loi Tirtzach, or Loi Sirtzach, there's differences, and when you're reading it on your own privately, you read it exactly the way you read it in the Torah. You're reading Mishnayim Mikra, when you're learning Chitas, you read it the way you read it written in the Torah. A Baal Koira should turn to the back and should look in the back where it brings you down. The Saras Adibra is the way they are in the like the first place in the Tama Elyon.
Even Mishnayim
Mikra should also do the regular, what it says in the Chumash, yeah. It's only with Sibur. Okay, Sif Yud Beis. V'yom Tiv Sheni Koyin Chamisha Gavri Parashat Kol B'Choyer. We read the Parashat Kol B'Choyer. We call it 5 people. V'hamafter Koyin B'Torah V'yom Kippur and Kavadishim. Read the same after as the first day. V'mafter B'Navi Tefillah Chavakuk Ad Lamaseach B'Niginoisoi. We read V'yesh Mekoymish Shemeschil Min Hashem B'Heichol Kodshei. Some Kehillah start a little earlier from the Hashem B'Heichol Kodshei, and that is Minig Chabad. Sif Yud Gimel. Yinoyeg Likas Megillas Rus b'Shavous. The minig is to read Megillas Rus on Shavous, Shuzmama and Torah, K'dei Lilmoid, Shalitna Torah L'Idei Sunim V'Oini. To learn that Torah is only acquired through suffering and poverty, Kamesha Hoya L'Rus. K'Shizgaira, Rus suffered until she converted. V'Mevarach and Kul Makis Megillas Rus. Since this Kriya is only a minig, we don't make a bracha on this Kriya.
Others doesn't do it,
There's not a many Chabad to do it, but many Kehillas read the Megillas Rus publicly, and we actually do say it, not at Sibur, but it's part of the Tikkun Leil Shavuos. The whole, even though all the rest of the Navi, you're only saying parts of it, when it comes to Rus, you're supposed to read the entire Sefer Rus on the night of Shavuos. Sif Yud Dalet. The minig is to spread grass around the shul, of the bottom of the houses, b'shuos, zeicher l'simchas matan Torah, to remember the simcha matan Torah. V'af b'yom tov atzim b'tel shoytchon, even a yom tov itself, you're allowed to spread it out. Afilu in a room Michael, even though if they're not ready, appropriate to eat. V'heim muksa, there's no problem with muksa. Kimin shechasha made of yom tov, since you separate it. You cut it Erev Yom Tif and you put it in a pile. You had in mind that the next day I'm going to do it, so it's not muksa anymore. You're adrabah, you thought about it that you want to use it. It's not muksa midaitoi, and therefore you're allowed to touch it. Just like you're allowed to use the flowers that are in Shabbos on the table in the vase, you're allowed to move around. It's not muksa, the flowers, because you was cut and you put it for Shabbos for Yom Tif. You're allowed to move it.
It's nice.
Some reason Chabad doesn't do it. I don't know why.
No. Kol Mokim, let's finish up the Inyan. Finish up the Sita Zayin. Kol Mokim, Chal Shavuos Achar Shabbos.
We don't do flowers.
If Shavuos falls out after a Shabbos, like this year, we're going from
No?
Shabbos, Sunday, and Monday. Lo yishtechem b'Shabbos, you're not spread out on Shabbos. Af shemutal taltalam. Even though you're allowed to move it, like we said before, it's not muksa. We have another problem over here. You're preparing from Shabbos to Yom Tov. You're not allowed to make achana from one day to the next. You're not allowed to prepare anything on top of page nun. Even if there's no anything malacha, like I want to bring wine Shabbos day and afternoon to get ready for the night for Yom Tov, you're not allowed. You're not allowed to prepare, set up the table. You're not, even though, what did I do? I didn't do any work. You're not allowed to do any hachana for the next day. So it says, the reason why people put trees in the shul in the house has nothing to do with simcha matan Torah, to put trees. The trees is kedei lahaskir Shabbat Seres nidoina peres ilam. Shavuos is the time that we are judged for fruits of the trees, how much fruit will grow on the trees for this year. And therefore we should daven for them and have them around to remember that we should daven for the trees. So next week we'll have to discuss the cheesecake.
We will bring some cheesecake.
Oh, good idea. We'll see if it fits the
You
minute.
can't bring it at night because people are eating supper, so be careful.
They have power
They
cheesecake.
have a cheesecake.
Bar.
Not Yaitza. What did you say? Which kehillah doesn't have the minute?
Like the garage,
They didn't have
They
it.
don't put trees or flowers.
Not cover base like Nessus?
Has to do because of Avodah Zarah. They were afraid of people doing.
You look like a church.
A shada.
Huh?
A shada.
Yeah.
Sita locha
I
shada.
think so. I think it has to do with it.
You look in the
Look up the
Ma'aser Rav.
Chayodim and Aruch HaShulchan.
Steipler, Rabbi Kanievsky did the tikkun
What?
well, but that's not true of.
No, Litvish circles don't do the tikkun.
They still,
See the Shah and Svadish circles.
they still.
Stay up, but they don't do the tikkun al Shavuos.
Strong.
What they do?
Gemara?
More?
Yeah. Like it says in Shulchan Aruch, Teresh Shalapeh.
That's why they daven on in the morning.
No, that's just that has to do with the Rebbe personally held that if you're able to concentrate better, you should sleep and daven later.